What if Azrael isn't just an Illyrian? What if he is tied to death itself across worlds? And Jesiba, is she really just a witch or something far older?
And don't even get us started on the Fury ACOTAR, I think is how you say it, the Onyx box and the glass box. So buckle up because we're going to deep dive in this today.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Two Girls, One TBR. I'm Rebecca and I'm here today with Heather. We are doing our ACOTAR deep dive again. Now remember, if you have not read ACOTAR, Crescent City, Throne of Glass, there will be spoilers. So just heads up on that. And also I wanted to just touch base with everyone. If you've noticed that our logo and everything has changed, our cover art, it looks a little different. It's because I've been busy in Canva. I really wanted to create something special for us that captures the true spirit of our show. So, and it feels so much better to have it look completely handcrafted for our TBR family, just so everybody notices everything.
It looks so good.
I think it looks pretty. It's much prettier, I think, than the other one.
Yeah, I agree. It's more bright, too. It's a little more whimsical. I like it.
Yes, because I always have stars behind me, so we have to have stars always in this logo. And also on my Azrael Reads one, I redid that one as well.
Yeah.
So you'll have to check it out. So let's see here. Now, we have spent so much time thinking about the multiverse death lineage. We may need therapy at this point.
I feel like Jesiba's secrets deserve their own like Netflix special. That would be fun.
I really like her. Because I am now done with Crescent City and stuff. At first I was like, man, she's very curt, very whatever, but I ended up really enjoying her once I understood who she actually is.
Yeah.
If you have read or you started Crescent City, because I have seen several people when I have said I was reading Crescent City, they seem to start Crescent City and they have stopped. I don't know if it's because the books are like this thick or if it's just it's different than ACOTAR. But people need to continue to read it. You get so many answers by the time you get you get to book 3. It's like, it's one of those. I had so many of these moments, and as I was reading, I was like, oh, and I understand things now.
Right.
But I don't know. Did you feel that way too when you were reading it?
The second book I really liked. The third book, it did feel like an ending book to me, where you got all your answers, everything kind of like went according to plan in a sense, and you got your answers, I suppose, and everyone figures out who people are and what the past was and the items that have been used across the celestial verses and stuff. So, I mean, it's interesting at the very end with Bryce and she's like in the bottomless pit kind of situation. That was a little odd. And then Ancient Day and Night, I wish that kind of went down a little different too. But I mean, that's just opinions. I'm not the writer.
I think it'll be very interesting because Sarah did say that she is going to be doing another book in that series because I can see it expanding and continuing on. Now, do I think it's going to be Bryce and Hunt's story? I think they're going to fade. They'll be more like your side characters, but it'll be somebody else. And I do think it will be more than likely it'll probably be Rune. I think it'll be Rune's story. At least.
Or Seth.
It could be. Yeah, it could be him. I don't know. But I do think she has so much more that she can tell with those people because I loved the side characters in Crescent City. I was very invested in all the people.
Yeah. I mean, even the side characters are good. Like Rune's best friends. You know, like they're important and they're fun and they're nice to read. Seth kind of got on my... This is Seth, right? The wolf. Is that his name?
No, Ethan.
Sethan?
No.
Sethan. So,
no, it begins with an... Isn't
Ethan?
it? We pronounce it...
What is his
but
name?
I think it is Ethan, but it begins with an I, so it could be Ethan or Ethan.
Okay.
I don't know how
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
been
know
a
how
while since I've
Sarah
read that.
I don't know how
In my
Sarah
head, I'm thinking
pronounces it.
Seth, but maybe that's not right. So
No, I
that's
don't
why I
think there is
asked.
a
But
Seth.
the wolf guy, that's
Yes.
important and in love with Bryce too. Poor guy.
Yeah, his brother was Connor. So yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Connor. Okay,
Because
I do
he
remember
was
that now.
really in love with Bryce.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah, their story kind of bugged me a little bit throughout it, but I think it was more of like I was anticipating what was next in the next,
yeah.
on the line of like Bryce's storyline or Rune's storyline or, Agent Day. And so I was like, okay, listen, pup, like go. Okay. I need to know some other things first before I get into your story. Okay.
I mean, I think he could have a really great story because now once you get through, again, remember, spoilers, people, as you get to the last book and that, and then he becomes the head wolf person, um, I think there's a lot to tell about what, what his story is going to be because his
Yeah.
is, it to me, it feels like his story is just beginning. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he had a lot of trauma, with losing his brother, and then he was angry at
Yeah.
Bryce for a long time, had a lot of misdirected anger. It's not her
Mhm.
fault that any of that
Mhm.
happened. And I seen a meme, and I think Chelsea sent me this meme. It's with the guy, and it's like it's that guy that does the face like he's smiling, and then he looks off to the side, like that kind of thing. Because Danica had so many secrets from Bryce.
Mhm.
Bryce thought she knew everything about Danica.
No, they were just party
And
friends.
and
Yeah.
Danica hid so much.
Mhm.
And it took all three books, truly, for Bryce to even find out the entire story. And you realize Danica, even though we're talking about her through all three books of Crescent City, she's only there for just a little while in a shocking way
Yeah.
she goes out.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable. I liked Crescent City. I really, really loved it.
Yeah. It was just different. A different setting, world, but also just different dynamic of characters and love interests, and it was just kind of refreshing, I thought,
Yeah.
compared to like a lot of your other fantasy reads that you get. So yeah, I liked it.
So
It was unique.
So if anybody, like I said, anybody who, if you've started Crescent City, you started book one and you were like, oh, I don't know, continue on because it's such an amazing story and it gives you so many answers with ACOTAR that you didn't know that you didn't know.
Hmm.
Ah,
I still want to go to
yeah.
Jesiba's library and find more secrets.
Oh, even though the way the books ended, or right now, book three, I think there is so much that we still don't know yet.
Yeah. Where does all that information go? So,
I'm just not 100% sold on who she claims she was.
huh?
Even though it's supposed to be tied up in a neat bow, I just don't think so. That's
Yeah.
that's my that's my thought at least right now until we have another book. But as of
Yeah.
right now, I don't know. I think there's more to her story than we know. But now, but now what are you drinking over there? I'm having a Coke.
Just some water.
Just we're exciting people.
We're exciting today.
But now
It's Friday.
But now, before we lose our minds in the dust court and all these different places, it's time for our poison and potion. Today,
Mm.
now, like I said, I'm having a Coke, but this drink here is to give kind of the vibe of Prince of Hell, kind of vibe, since we're talking Rhysand's with his weird things that he does, because I have theories on Rhys now. So the first one now, if you want to have like it's a more of your mocktail kind of thing, it's going to be called the Starborn Queen. Okay. This is when you're feeling like Bryce or your hidden night court royal, possibly. If you want to have it as alcohol, you would do gin and vodka, one one or the
Or
other.
vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you want it as a mocktail, you would do sparkling white grape juice. So
Yeah.
one of the three.
Okay.
Add a splash of elderflower liqueur.
Hmm.
What is elderflower liqueur?
Pretty sure. Oh, I was thinking elderberry. It's got to be part of the elderberry, elderflower. It's probably a blossom on the berry. But
Oh.
elderberry is like great for your immune system.
Oh,
So,
so maybe
hey,
it's something
we're
good.
here to keep you immune.
Well, and then you add a little lemon juice. It says then the spark of it is it's topped with some of that prosecco. Prosecco?
Yeah.
So, and it says the multiverse twist, stir in a pinch of edible glitter luster dust, because you know how you can get that edible glitter?
Yeah.
And you
I
stir
just found somebody on Instagram that started a company for that. I was like, oh, this looks so fun.
So it says when you drink it, you swirl it, it looks like swirling starlight, the starborn power manifesting.
That sounds fun. I might try that tonight.
It looks neat. Now the other one, this one is more what we call the poison. This is the Prince of Hell. This is a moody, dark, dangerous, perfect, since we're discussing Rhys, Rune, and do you pronounce his name Apollonian? Is that how you say his name? Apollyon? Apollyon?
I did. Yeah, Apollyon.
Apollyon. Like Apollyon, kind of like
It's probably totally wrong.
It's probably totally wrong because we discovered it's not Manon, it's Manon.
It's Manon.
So we're probably complete. Until we hear her speak these words, we need to have Sarah go through all her characters and give us the correct pronunciations of what her mind said.
Authors would do that, like go on a platform and have
just,
like a glossary or where they go through and say the names of the characters and like highlight it in their profile on social media. So
and
we
have
know
locations too, because some of the places, because you and I know we don't pronounce anything correct.
No. So like places, names, items, all sorts of stuff. That would be really cool if authors would go in and do that.
That would be nice. Well, when we have our authors on here, hopefully here soon, we're going to be scheduling people. Maybe they will do some of that for us.
That'd be cool.
Because we definitely know we're not pronouncing anything correct. But now this drink here, now the base, it's a heavy red blend or a Cabernet Sauvignon. All right. Then the dark magic part of it is you're going to add a half an ounce of blackberry liqueur, like Chambord. Is that how you pronounce that? And to deepen the color to a night court purple black. Okay. Then to garnish it, drop 2 frozen blackberries or a black cherry to represent the Onyx and Glass boxes. Cool. And then on the rim of the glass, get some of that black lava salt or dark sugar to give it the Court of Nightmares edge.
Yum.
I think these are good.
Your mouth would probably be black after drinking that stuff, like the salt and the berries. Oh yeah.
Someday, because we have a Patreon, we just haven't done anything with it. That would be a super fun someday. If we ever get to really use our Patreon, we should do these drinks and people can just make these things.
I mean, they're really simple. They're like 3 ingredients.
Yeah.
So
I think both of those would be really good. If anybody makes them, now we will have the recipe on our Instagram. I should do these and then do a bubble and have a highlight so people can get our different drink recipes.
Yeah, make recipe cards and put on a highlight.
That might be a small thing to do. And then if people get to try these, we want to see pictures and see how pretty they truly are and see if anybody does what their twist on it is, I guess. And if you make it, Heather, I want to see your pictures.
Yeah,
of it.
I know. I keep saying that I'm going to make some of these, and the week goes by, and I'm like, oh.
Do you have any prosecco?
I do.
So
it's from New Year's. We never drank it, but it's in the fridge, taking up space. So I might as well, use it.
Well, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. You need, and we need definitely though. You have to get some of the glitter though, the edible glitter.
I know. I bookmarked the lady I found on Instagram. She just launched her. It's edible. What are they? You know those like hydration powders people
yes I know what you're talking about.
It's like a hydration powder with the edible glitter, so it's not doesn't have to be like alcoholic. You can do like just a cute drink while you go read, and it's like purple and sparkly and stuff. Immerses you. I'm an immersive reader, so I'm all about that.
Well, then this will be
Get
perfect.
in the jam. Yeah,
so you have to try it. and I want to
I
see it.
know.
I want to see your cup, because your espresso martini you made was awfully
Mm,
beautiful.
those are delicious. Yes.
I've
I
never
have
had one.
perfected that one.
I have
Oh,
never had one before.
you must come across the states to me.
Oh, that sounds so fun. Oh,
That would be.
I know. You know what I would love to do someday is to have, like, we could meet up or do something and stay
Yeah.
like at a cabin like those people do, and
Mm-hmm.
have their little retreat things.
Go to
Uh
Asheville. Yeah.
there, the other places in Slade, Kentucky, they have the
Okay. Mm-hmm.
treehouse ones and that.
Yes. That'd
And
be
they all
fun.
they all,
Just no spiders or ants, please.
well, they all look really pretty. Well, I don't know inside,
Yeah.
but I mean they all look really pretty inside. And they have most of them have hot tubs and stuff with them.
Ooh.
Because Daniel's always like, I want to go someplace where there's a pool. I said, I don't need a pool. I'd be fine with a hot tub. I just want to sit
Yeah.
and have the bubbles all around me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
but they have some real pretty ones. I know if you go down into Tennessee, they do have some places,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
have indoor pools. They're not very big, but they're
Yeah.
indoor and they're cute. But
Yeah.
they're pricey. They're like
Mm.
expensive. But that would
Hmm.
be super fun though. Maybe one day
It'd be
we'll
a fun,
do
like,
that.
book retreat. We could, write it off as a retreat.
There you go. We can get our
Grab some friends and go.
we could get our Chelsea out here,
Yeah.
all the way from
Who else wants to
California.
go?
I,
Comment.
well, I think
Come with us.
oh yeah, I think we would be fun. We're real fun people, so I
Heck
think that would
yeah.
be fun. So food for thought, everybody. So now we can get in, now that we got our drink and all that, even though we did talk a little bit about it. Let's get into our main segment.
All
Now,
right. Here we go.
now let's talk about Rhysand, Hell, and the Maasverse crossover. Okay? Now, we're talking Rhysand because apparently he might not just be, Night Court royalty. Could he be dipping his claws into Hell with that Apollyon Adius? Is that how you pronounce his name? Adius? Looks like.
Sure.
All right, we're going to go with that territory. See, again, people, you know who we are. And yes, but things could be getting even messier than we thought.
Oh, yeah. So, which makes our multiverse theory board officially chaotic. I mean, 7 levels of a library.
Mhm.
Interesting, right?
Mhm.
Bat wings, got cats. Let's unpack a lot of this. There's a lot of things going on.
There's a lot, because I swear I go down the rabbit hole all the time. There are so many interesting theories, because again, now since I've read Crescent City, I haven't read Throne of Glass, but I know tidbits of Throne of
Okay.
Glass. But everything, and I see all these things and I bookmark them and I send a lot of them to Chelsea. I'm like, look at this. Because her and I have different ones going on right now. So now let's talk about Rhysand. Now, is he a descendant of, or is he well, I guess, could he possibly be a prince of Hell or a descendant of one of the princes of Hell? Since we read Crescent City, we know Hell Hunt is actually a son of Hell. Could possibly be Rhysand or one of his family members make him a prince of Hell. What is your thought on that?
Maybe his dad was. Because wasn't he, like, super powerful?
I believe so,
And
but
like
Rhysand's
snap
the
his
most powerful.
fingers and obliterate people kind of thing.
His dad, I know his dad was strong. I know his dad was not
Yeah.
a very nice person. I know that. But this is the thing that parallels, because when you look at Rhysand, yes, he does have bat wings like the Illyrians, because his mom was Illyrian. But
Right.
his leathery bat wings, it kind of he ties in with Apollonian from Crescent City, one of the princes of Hell. He has bat wings. His beast form resembles him, the Prince of the Pit. Fans speculate that he may be a descendant or even a reincarnation, especially since Apollonian comes from the void. Rhys's powers are void adjacent. His powers are very different. You know what I'm saying? So is it
Yeah.
possible that he is a connection? Could it also be a Deus? That's the other one. Because isn't that the other one that Bryce talks to? Isn't he the one
That's
that
the one
turns into a
that's the cat, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's the prince of the 4th level of Hell, and he appears as a cat. The 4th level of the House of Wind, which is the library, it has cats. I did not remember that. Do you remember them having cats? But there must
No.
be some mention of it. Is this hinting at a magical or a symbolic link? Fans think that Rhys's beast form may reflect Aedeas' essence as well, suggesting maybe he has a dual lineage or a shared power. Because remember, Hunt has the two princes of hell. It's their DNA in him. It's not just one of them is his father, which I don't even know if I guess you could consider him like a father because that other guy is the one that sired him, but it was whatever how they did it. The two princes of hell, he is their son. Some weird stuff they had going on there, those princes of hell. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of mention of Princess of Hell in all 3 books, I feel like.
It's interesting.
If like even in Tog, there's mentions of that as well, and they could be all interconnected unless they are just like different devils, demons in this world or in this hell. Maybe
It's
there are
interesting.
different hells. Yeah.
It's interesting. But it is interesting how there's 7 levels of this, 7 levels. There's a lot of 7s that
Sevens, yeah.
Sarah, everything she does is intentional. I do not think she just is willy-nilly saying stuff. Everything, just from how I've seen how ACOTAR and Crescent City, how interconnected they are.
Yes.
So
she'll Easter
there's a
egg.
lot. Oh, there's a lot. So
whether it was intentional at the beginning and or not, she'll use it. So it could be something later on too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's something. Now that leads us into the next theory. What if Rune Dannon? Oh, Rune Dannon. He's such a wonder. Oh, I love him. What if he is Rhysand's secret son?
No.
This is the theory. It's a crack.
I don't know, but he is younger than him.
He is younger than him. He's only...
I think they're like cousins or brothers or something like that.
All right, well, this is the crack theory. Now, remember, everybody, these are theories I have found out on the internet. So remember, this doesn't necessarily reflect our ideas or our thoughts in that, but it is possible. Now, this crack theory, it has enough connective tissue that fans are resurrecting it, basically. The idea goes like this. Rhys was in the Autumn Court at the right time. We know that Rhys spent time in the Autumn Court as a young adult. We know that the Autumn Court is a cesspool of political marriages, hidden affairs, and children being used as bargaining chips. Fans argue that, because remember, Bryce's father is the Autumn King. I mean, how is he the Autumn King? The Autumn Court, I think they're all connected. Fans argue that Rhys could have had a relationship with a noblewoman. He fathered a child, and that child was quietly absorbed into the Autumn royal line. Or that Rune's mother is mysteriously barely ever mentioned. She's never described. Now, I did find that there is a bonus chapter that Rune goes and talks to her. Did you read that chapter? It was in...
Oh, yes. I think
it
I
was
don't remember it, but I do remember the idea of it.
Because she
maybe it was just mentioned. I don't remember.
You'll have to look.
It's been a while.
I believe it was in the Barnes and Noble exclusive, I think, is what it was in. Okay. I don't remember 100%, but it was in one of the exclusives, and it's a bonus chapter. And he talks about her. Because I have other theories in that one, too. So just put a pin in that. Now, the next one. Now, Rune's powers look suspiciously Night Court, kind of. Rune's has shadows. He can do mind-to-mind communication, just like Rhys. He does mental shields, and of course the Starborn light mixed with the darkness. Now, we do know that Rhys is a descendant of, what was her name? Selene? Wasn't it Selene? It's whatever her name was. The one that went and closed up all the, where the prison is. Was her name Selene? Because I don't remember. I think that was her name. We're going to call her Selene because I don't remember. But you know which one I'm talking about. Because there's the two sisters. They went over to Midgard, and this sister came back. The other sister ended up staying, Helena. She stayed in Midgard. The other sister, Selene, she's the one that came back. She got sealed back in. They closed the portal between Midgard and Prythian, and that's what... So the Asteri couldn't come back to Prythian. And then she hunted all the Asteri's pets, or whatever how you want to say, and she put them in and she's the one that built the prison in Prythian. And we know that she ended up marrying a High Lord's son, and she and then we do know that Rhysand's blood is keyed to the prison because he's a descendant of her.
Right.
So I don't know. What do we think on that? Now remember, now Rhys's magic is shadows, mind-to-mind communication. He does the mental shields, and then he has the night sky or Starlight, his magic stuff too. So I mean,
they're very similar.
Bryce thought Rhysand was Rune when she seen him.
I definitely think they're connected somehow. How? That's
Remember, put a pin in
theories.
it. Put a pin in it because I have another theory later on as we go. But now, as fans point out that Rune's shadow abilities don't come from the Starborn line. That's a separate trait. So where did he get it? So this is where they're saying, is it possible that Rhys is his father? Now, Rune looks more like a Night Court male than he does the Autumn Court. Remember, the Autumn King had red hair, same as Bryce. Bryce got her red hair and fieriness just like her dad. So we know that's not coming from him. Rune has dark hair. He has blue
he looks
eyes.
Like his mom.
Correct. Tattooed. He's, of course, shadowy magic. He's brooding, noble. He's different. The Autumn Court males, or the Autumn King in that, he has red hair. He's fire magic. And he's temperamental. He was temperamental, crabby.
Yeah, which Rune didn't get any of those traits. So
you take Baron.
It's more like his mom, so...
Well, you look at Baron from the Autumn Court, and you take the Autumn King from Midgard. They're both assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they are. I mean, they're both assholes. They're a different kind of asshole, but they're their own kind of asshole. Yeah. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that make you mad.
They do. Now he's visually and magically coded more like a Night Court prince than he would be of like an Autumn heir. Now let's go into this. Now, of course, again, now, could it be that he is a part of an Illyrian bloodline? Some fans go even far and say that Rune's physique, his fighting style, feels more Illyrian. Not that, now, of course, he doesn't have wings, but the build, the discipline, the warrior culture.
Okay.
All right.
And so who trained him?
There's a lot we don't know about
Like, we know that there's a lot of crossover in Crescent City.
Yes.
Where there are a lot of people that came from Prythian over.
Yes.
When the gate closed. So we could have Illyrians, we have witches, we have which I don't think the witches are human in ACOTAR, but they are like different beings in Tog.
Well, a lot, because remember, when all the people of Prythian went through the gate and went to Midgard, there were no high courts. None of that stuff existed at that point. There was only a high king and the high lady, and it was Fea, which was the high queen. She's the one that led them to Midgard. So none of that other stuff existed yet. So it was people from all over Prythian went with her to Midgard.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's something there. But now, let's see here. Now, this is where the theory gets a little spicy, though. If Rhys has hell-adjacent lineage, as we were discussing, Rune could be inheriting that, too. So he could be getting his shadows and all that kind of stuff from hell. But now the timeline could work, too. Sarah leaves enough wiggle room in Rhys's early life that a secret child is not impossible. And the Autumn Court is exactly the kind of place where a child's true parentage could be hidden for political convenience.
Okay.
I don't know. So now, remember I told you to put a pin on Rune. Now, what if Rune is, instead of the son of Rhys, what if Rune is Rhysand's sister's son?
Yeah,
now
that's more believable to me.
Now, when you read ACOTAR, there's the whole thing. You know that her head and her mother's head were removed from their bodies. Their wings were clipped and hung at Tamlin's father's office. But what did both of those women truly? Were they both really killed? This is the thing.
Right.
Was
Could
the
have just been a
sister?
doppelganger. I mean, when the heads are cut off, they don't always look like the person.
But now this is where the theory becomes interesting. This is one of the most compelling crack theories. Now, again, not our theory, but this is interesting because it solves multiple problems at once. Why Rune doesn't look like the autumn male. Okay, so if his mom is Rhysand's sister, she looks like Rhysand, so he's favoring her. Why his power doesn't match the autumn line. Why his mother is never described. Now, when you do go into the bonus chapter and he talks about her, you get she does look like him, but she looks the same age as him, even though she's 200 years older than him. That is something that she meant. I can't remember if it was a specific 200 and some years, but I know she's 200 years older than him. Rhys's sister was younger than Rhys. That would put her at that age. All right. But then, but why did Sarah not go into depth about her? You would think that Rune's mother should have been a more,
would explain
described.
more
It would
about
explain
him.
more.
Mm-hmm.
But why the Starborn line keeps producing anomalies? That's another thing they're saying.
Okay.
So, and if this will tie ACOTAR and Crescent City timelines together in a way that feels more almost, it lines up perfect. So I think it's very possible that this
Yeah.
is.
And if you, I mean, if the Auto King, so Bryce has his features.
Correct.
Whereas like in ACOTAR and all his sons look exactly like him.
Oh, that
or
look
have
is
fire,
strong.
the red hair, all that stuff. So it seems like that gene comes through.
Extremely
But
strong.
yeah, maybe it's just stronger in ACOTAR, the males, whereas in Crescent City, it's just more strong in the women. We don't know because there's not 7 children.
But see, there's more theory. So as we know, Rhys had a younger sister and she was murdered. We're going to air quote it because we're not sure on that one now.
Yeah.
Now again, like I said, she was killed by Tamlin's father. Her body was never described in detail in that when Sarah was talking about, and her age at her death was never stated. Like some people picture her as a child, more of a younger person. But I don't think. I think she was more grown or not, or like a young woman. I don't think she was like an adult, but not a like child.
Yeah. I know Rhys says like a certain time of his life where their dads were still alive, Tamlin and his dad. And I don't remember though what he said his age was or around that age, but
well, see, this is the part that gets me. Now, what if she is Rhysand's sister? Now, if you noticed or if you remember from ACOTAR, in the Spring Court, there is a pool of moonlight. Why is there a pool of moonlight in Spring Court? That makes no sense. Now, what if Tamlin and Rhysand's sister were in love and her gift to him was a pool of moonlight? Because they're magical, they can do these kind of fun things. And what if Tamlin knew his dad was going to do this, all this stuff, because they were fighting, they knew this was going to happen. What if, like, they'll say the mother did get killed, Rhysand's mother, because I'm pretty sure she's gone unless she got shipped too. But what if the pool of moonlight, it's one of those, is it a weak area? You know what I'm talking about, like a veiled area. They talk about it in Crescent City, a thin area. That's what it is, the thin area. What if that's what it is? And maybe Tamlin was able to take Rhysand's sister because he knew this was going to happen and push her through the portal to Midgard.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of these thin places in Prythian that we don't even know about. They say the prison's sitting on one. There was different places in the Spring Court that they described as misty and stuff. It's always these misty locations. And what if Rune, what if his father isn't the Autumn King? What if Tamlin is his
That's what I was just
father?
going to say. Because then you could start saying that. Like, what if that was a love baby
Mm-hmm.
and she went and that's not even the Autumn King
Because
son? It's just,
it's kind of weird,
yeah.
because now when you read that bonus chapter, it's almost like she's brainwashed or she doesn't know a lot because she's very like infatuated still, very much like she loves the Autumn King even though he showed her no
Mm-hmm.
affection or
Mm-hmm.
anything.
She's very loyal. Yeah.
And he basically, like, after she had Rune, because she said it was a privilege to be picked to
Right.
have his child, it makes me wonder if like she almost had like an amnesia kind of thing, like she doesn't know who she is, because supposedly she is from over at that hidden island, the one that where Rune went and got the star sword, the starborn
Mm-hmm.
sword. I don't remember the name of the island over there. That's where her people supposedly came from, or she's related to them.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I think there could be some validity to that theory.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting if we're having Tamlin be the father of all kinds of people's children.
I know.
But that would be interesting though.
Yeah. I'd
Now,
like to know if he's related. That's for sure. Because that's always been on my mind is there's some kind of relation because they're so similar.
yes,
That's all. Yeah.
I think it could be.
And I'm
I mean,
hoping in the next ACOTAR book we get some answers about Crescent cities,
mhm.
like veils and items and, how are they going to bring those together and use them? Are we still going to hop around? Are we going to, who's our next person we're going to battle? Stuff like that. So,
I don't there's something to it because I don't think Sarah would just put that, and especially her putting these little tidbits in the bonus chapters. There's
hmm
It's going to take us somewhere. I don't know where, but it's taking us somewhere.
yeah,
But I think if I had to go with my guess, I think that's going to end up being Rhysand's sister. I think
I could
that's who
see
she's
it.
going to be.
Yeah.
It's
Because,
just interesting. But
yeah.
well, we'll just have to wait until she
Come on.
reveals that secret. But you got to also remember, but that also might also explain why the Autumn King hates Rune. Rune,
hmm
if he's not
hmm
his biological son, but
But
that could
needed
be
an heir. Yeah.
because he knew he had power, but maybe
Yeah,
he
like he's the most powerful.
so
Yeah.
he used him as a political pawn. He was a child forced into his line. I don't know, because he was very cruel to him and he would burn him. But now remember, Azrael's father was horrible and would burn him because remember he burned his hands. So
He
then
was a foster kid, though.
I think that was his father that did that to him because he had brothers and it was his father. And then he didn't have anything to do with it. Because remember, we believe his mom has a Rose Hall. We know she's still alive.
Mm.
I think we're going to get some answers from her because Sarah put that little nugget in that book. That's
Yeah.
what makes me lean towards I do think this next book is going to strongly talk about Azrael and his story, and I do think it's very
hmm
possible we could get Cassian's story too because there's a lot to unpack on him that we don't know about. I think those two guys we're going to find out a lot more information.
Yeah.
Um let's see now. So, but yeah, in essence though, but the Autumn King truly he would treat Rune like a bastard he never wanted.
hmm
He didn't treat him like he was his heir and treating
Not really. Yeah.
so like I said, maybe he isn't. So if the ties to the Starborn line to the Night Court, this is where the theory gets cosmically interesting. If Rhys's sister carried the Night Court magic, hell adjacent lineage, as we were saying, void magic, starborn ancestry, if Rhys has it, then
hmm
Rune, I'm sorry, could become the bridge between Prythian, Hell, Midgard, and the Starborn line. So maybe he's more of a key than even
Yeah.
Bryce, because we know Bryce's mom is human.
hmm
So he might be a lot more, something more with him than meets the
Yeah.
eye, more
Yeah.
so than her. So now the next little tidbit. Now we mentioned this a little bit up at the top, um, but the House of Wind Library, is it possibly a portal or a mirror to hell? Now we know there's 7 levels in the library. There's 7
Mhm.
levels in hell. Because, like, again, we
Mhm.
said Sarah keeps putting these parallels. If the library mirrors hell's hierarchy, the lowest level is the pit. Echoing Apollonian's domain suggests that the library could be a magical conduit or a reflection of hell. The cats on
Yeah.
the 4th level could be familiars, guardians, or avatars for Adias, because I think he goes there. Because we know he can travel to all different
Mhm.
places. And
Yeah.
Midgard
I
was
remember
completely
thinking
shut
that.
off.
Yeah.
So what would stop him from going to
I think
Prythian?
Nesta does. I think it's in Nesta in her book, um, that she talks to a cat.
Hmm, we'll have
Trying to
to
think
look.
back now, because I do like now that we're like kind of talking about this and stuff. Maybe I'm putting this in my head, but um,
We'll have to
I
look.
feel like I do remember her talking to a cat and like having a conversation, and I remember that being really similar in Crescent City. So
It's interesting, isn't it?
yeah,
So, but why are they well, we know they can travel. The only reason the Princes
yeah.
of Hell couldn't go to
That's why
Midgard
I
is
think
because the gates were
the
locked.
yeah,
But
I think the princes they're able to get around,
oh, I think
and they
so.
could definitely be in all the books, I feel like. Whether they definitely don't have the same names, but they're probably the same entity. So,
I don't know. All I'm saying is she's doing this sprinkling.
mhm.
There's
She's
some
good at that.
reason. There's some reason. So then this theory I think could hold some weight. Now, we know there is the Night Court, and then there's the Court of Nightmares. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
there is
Mhm.
mention, because, what is his name? Karis, is it Karis? Whatever, Mor's dad's name. What was his name?
Oh, goodness.
Well, we're just going to call him Mor's dad for right now, because I
Yeah,
can't remember his name at the
what
moment.
is his name?
Okay. Now, he talks about this noble person. We're going to put it in quotes because, again, it's just odd. His name is Thanos. Now, this is mentioned in ACOTAR, okay? And he mentioned that he is having trouble with his daughter. And it's later revealed in Crescent City that Thanos is the Prince of the Ravine. Now, if you remember, the Court of Nightmares is down in that ravine under that mountain. So
Mm,
could that Thanos in Prythian and the Thanos that is mentioned in Crescent City, could it be one and the same person?
yeah.
Now, remember, he was having trouble with his daughter. So, now, could the Court of Nightmares be a Hell outpost? Some fans believe it's Hell aligned, and Rhys's lineage and power may be tied to ancient Hell politics. Because again,
That's a
Rhys
good
is very
theory.
different. So, if the Court of Nightmare could literally be Hell's embassy on Prythian soil, meaning our Night Court antics are basically a cosmic diplomacy in death royalty. So now, remember, we didn't pronounce her name right. I don't know if it's correct. We could be right, it could be wrong. But Fury from Crescent City. We're going to say Axtar? Fury
Sure.
Axtar? That's what we're going to call it. If it's wrong, it's us.
Sorry.
Now, this is the theory that she is the daughter that they were talking about of Thanos. Because when you go into mythology, Fury means mythic agents of vengeance tied to underworld and death. So it could be terrifying power level, even because remember the Asteri were afraid of her, all the
Mhm.
Viper Queen. Why are all these people that were all so powerful?
Yeah.
Why are they afraid of Fury?
Mhm.
Do you see? You know what I mean? I mean, the shifters, everybody was that. She's very cold. She's very, you know what I mean? She's not like a huggy person or anything. So, and also it's mentioned in ACOTAR that Thanos' daughter is an assassin. Fury is an assassin. So is she that person? What do you think?
Yeah. Or they're talking about, I don't want to say your name wrong, the tall girl, Celinthia. I don't know
I
how
have no
people
idea.
pronounce it. I call her Aelin.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I,
Like the main character, she's an assassin in Tog, so
oh, that could
could
be
be
her too.
her. Yeah.
It could be, but it's just interesting because we do know there's a Thanos was mentioned in ACOTAR, and then they do talk about Thanos in Crescent City. So is it?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Could be.
I don't know. That's an interesting theory, and I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to put a good pin in that one because I think that is a
Yeah.
very good possibility.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now, again, of course, we're talking about Rhysand here. Now, his ability to manipulate darkness and space may stem from the same void as Apollonian. Again, this ties Rhys to the Princes of Hell, his beast form. But when Rhys's description of his beast form, he's not like an animal, like how Tamlin looks like how we have a Beauty and the Beast kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's more like he becomes a demon in the description. It's not he's leathery.
To me, he turns into his like a bat form, but like a large gargoyle. To me, that's his form, like a very scary looking gargoyle.
But that doesn't seem like a regular animal because when they talk about all the other
Right.
high lords and their forms,
Mm-hmm.
they're all like they're just an animal. You know what I mean? It's not like
Yeah.
like him, because even if you're saying like he's like a gargoyle, that's not just a regular animal. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Sorry.
so maybe he's resembling a deus, because they said that is what a deus looks like in his demon form. Fans
Oh.
speculate that this is an inherited demon form from the Hell's Princes.
Okay. It could
It
be.
makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Whether that's intentional or not, who knows? Could be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we know that Sarah, like she does, these are names that have been through the different ones. She has Thanos, Apollonian, Adidas. They're deliberate. Rhysand's, they said it's a convergence of multiple mythologies, the keystone of her cosmology or whatever. That's not the right word.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmology. Yeah, that would be it. Wouldn't it be?
Cosmology.
Cosmology, yeah.
Gotcha.
But think, because all her stuff, like how she writes and that, it's all taken from mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know Tamlin is taken from Irish mythology. She's pulling from all these different things. So
Yeah.
and the house, and also it said that the House of Wind Library may hold memories, souls, and magical contracts tied to hell.
Mm.
Because we don't know what's all in every single level of the
Oh, right.
library.
Yeah.
I do think it's weird that Bryaxis was living at the bottom. What's he doing?
Yeah.
Is he a guardian of a portal down there? And where is he at? That's my
Yeah.
next question. Where is he at? Because he's never gone back. Because he made
Yeah.
that deal with Feyre,
Mm-hmm.
and he hasn't did his thing and hasn't come back. Where's he at?
Yeah.
What's he doing? Is he watching more up at that place that she went to her secret
Mm-hmm.
estate? Where's Bryaxis? I have
Yeah.
questions. So I don't know. So now let's talk about, what did we say? Jesiba. Now at the end of Crescent City, she tells Ethan, or Ethan, whatever how you want to pronounce his name, she tells him her true self. But I mean, is she truly telling him her true self? I'm not sold 100%, because she said
Okay.
she was human and she was a priestess and
Mm-hmm.
she was in
That was
charge of
heard.
those libraries.
Mm-hmm.
And then when all this happened, she escaped with a portion of the library, trying to save it. And see, this is the part that's weird to me, because then
Okay.
the Prince of Hell said that he gave her immortality
Mm-hmm.
to prove to him that the books weren't evil, or that she wasn't trying to do something with them. To me, that's weird. Like, why all of a sudden would he change her and give her immortality to prove that? And this has been going on for 15,000 years, because she was 15,000 years old,
I
she
thought
said.
he cursed her. I thought it
That
was
was
a
his
curse.
Well, that was his curse, and she had to prove that the books were not there for her to do something with them.
I don't
But why?
remember the specs, but
and she's
yeah.
It's weird. I mean, I think in 15,000 years she should have been able to prove that she wasn't using the books for evil. You know what I mean? There's something weird there. There's something, and we do know she glamored herself too, because she
I
did
think
not
there
look
was a
the same.
contract or a deal that they did, and she ended up getting immortality for the protection of the books, something like that. Like she wanted to protect the books and the
There's something with it.
knowledge.
Well, she tells him, and then she said that she was a witch, but she really wasn't a witch, because she was human, but then she was with the Coven of the Witches, the same
Yeah,
ones that,
she learned
um,
witchcraft.
yes. And then she decided that they weren't her people. And so she's
Hmm.
quit being with them. But everything she says, there's a lot of contradictions in it. Unless Sarah just made a lot of contradictions, which is possible. But I don't know. I think a lot of what she does and what she says is intentional because, like, her
Hmm.
age, her power, her multiversal knowledge, because she seems
Yeah,
to know a lot about the different multiverses. So again, something's odd. Um, she has the petrifying ability. She has, she can turn people into the little animals that are in the cages. She has a lot of knowledge of ancient artifact collection, and she was completely fearless towards all the princes of hell. She seemed to almost have, like, she knew them extremely well. Again, she was 15,000 years old, but there's
yeah,
something there. So one of the theories is that she is, how do you pronounce that? It's from Throne of Glass. She's a some type of witch. It's with that CH. Clophonic? Is that how you
sure.
pronounce it?
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
even remember that in Tog.
They
I
said,
remember the
is that what the 13 is called? Is that their actual
no,
kind?
they're the shit, what are they called? Drawing a blank now. The beaks, there's like a clan names that they are. And I guess that's the type of witch they are,
Mm.
or maybe
See,
I don't
again, I
know.
haven't read it, so I don't know. This is going just based on what the
It's
interwebs say.
been a couple of years since I've read it, so all the details of that I don't remember, but there are different clans in Tog. Whereas like in Crescent City you
Hmm.
see what's her name? Hypaxia.
Hypaxia. Yep. I
And
liked her.
there's two clans there in Crescent
Yeah.
City, I think, right?
Correct.
So,
Yes.
and her mom was like
She was the leader of the one.
yeah.
She was the queen.
So, and they're saying like those witches might have come over from Tog
Yeah.
as the lost clan that they talk about in Throne of Glass. I think that was a theory someone threw
So
out.
maybe that's the name. Again, like I
Yeah,
said, I haven't read it, so I don't know.
yeah. I mean, there's different names, same people, but the
Well,
Tog witches all had the like some had like the iron teeth and the claws and
that's the
stuff
one
like
where
that.
they have the theory that it's very possible that Mama Archeron is a descendant of them.
Right. Yeah. Because then in ACOTAR they're human witches.
Yeah, because
Something like
according
that.
to the bone carver, doesn't he say something? He says, "Oh no, that's the ancient warrior I'm talking about there." But I still think there's more to Mama Archeron than we know. But now,
Probably.
but now
Like her line.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because there's too much. Because for Feyre, Nesta, Elaine, now of course Feyre was made by all the High Lords, but still she turned into High Fae, and then the two sisters get thrown into the cauldron. They could have come out Lesser Fae, but they all came out High Fae. What else
Right.
is in them that made them become what they
More. Yeah.
more than they are? But now back to her, what they're saying about the Clophonic witch. I'm gonna say it that way. I'm sure
Okay.
it's wrong. But they said it's very possible that older than the Asteri, tied to death in the underworld magic, because you've seen she was into some very dark things. She was capable of turning beings to stone. They said that's possible, she's connected to hell and maybe the ancient gods. Spicier theories is that she is possibly a hell goddess. That's
Hmm.
why she was so close and just talked to the princes of hell like they were nothing, because she didn't have any fear for them at
I would
all.
say like lovers or yeah, like
That's very possible. She could
hmm.
be a chthonic deity. Again, don't know what that word is exactly. Multiversal archivist. She could also be a fallen Asteri scientist, that she was one of them. That's why she
Hmm.
hated the Asteri so much. Or could she possibly have been a dragon in human form? Because remember the girl that she didn't get her, but it's the one that went to the Viper Queen that Bryce and them, or Ethan, he saved her from that
Yeah,
weird astronomer. She was a dragon.
that's right.
We haven't found out everything with her because I think there's more to find out. I think she's going to be in book 4 because she left her very open ended.
Yeah. I do remember thinking that when she was talking. I think I had to reread that part a few times to kind of be like, what does this mean?
So
So,
maybe her and Ethan, whatever we want to call him, maybe those two are destined to be together because she's a shifter and he's a shifter. I know they're not the same shifters, but that
oh,
doesn't seem to
yeah.
matter. Think how powerful that would be for him to be with her and she's part and they produce a child.
With the dragon, you mean? Or with Jesiba?
No, with the dragon.
Jesiba's dead now.
Jessica's, well, she's supposedly dead. She gave up her
Yeah.
soul, or
She went.
she gave Bryce got her soul back because of the guy over in the death court or whatever that is. What was it called in Crescent City, wherever the Death Gate people were, where everybody went and they went across into the mist over there, whatever it was called, because they killed him because
The island. Yeah.
because he really wasn't anything. He was just a dick that was taking everybody's souls for some reason
Uh,
because he
um,
was eating the
for the
second light.
starry. Yeah.
So he
So
had to
he
be
could get
tied.
stuff. Yeah.
So he was something with the Asteri, obviously,
Yeah, he was
since he was
feeding off
eating it.
them.
So gross. Now, there's also a theory. I seen this the other night, just something that it came into my mind is, remember they kept saying like when Starfall happens in Prythian and he kept saying there was less and less souls. Maybe that has something to do with over in Midgard because of all the souls that were getting ate.
Could be.
Because maybe when that happens, that's where the souls go. Instead of it going just, they were wandering off into a green area, maybe that they were going to Prythian. That's where their souls were going. It's interesting. Now, do you remember this from both of these books, the Onyx box and the Glass box? Do you remember those?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, now the Glass box. Now, the Glass box is from Crescent City. That is Hunt's friend, the one that he was in the auxiliary with, Victoria. Remember Micah, the dick, the archangel? He took her and because she was a wraith, and he took her away from her body form and he put her and trapped her in a glass box.
Okay,
And then
I do remember this. And then, in the ocean.
Yep, he threw her into the ocean, into the, I do not know how to pronounce that trench.
Yeah, like some specific place where she couldn't get out and no one could
and
really fly by.
Well, yeah, she's completely conscious, trapped in this box at the bottom of this trench. Right. So that's, I have theory that when maybe book 4, maybe Hunt will go and they will try to get her out of the trench, because that she's still alive. She's in that box and she's trapped there. The other guy, he was killed because his body, remember, he rotted away. They just had him on display, remember, and he, rotted. So she's still there. So I wonder if he's going to try to find her. So that's the glass box. Okay, so we know that holds a soul, basically. Now there's also, now this is from in A Court of Silver, what is it? No, Silver Flame. Yeah. Elaine has a vision that there's an onyx box, and it's at Koshi's. Now, they said that it's possible, is it Koshi's actual soul is tied to it? Maybe that's the source of his immortality. Because I do believe Koshi's going to be our villain in the next person.
Okay.
Now, is it something to do with the island prison in it? Because they said that aligns with Slavic folklore. I guess there's something about an onyx box.
Okay.
Now, they also say the white feathered women, because remember they said at Koshi's thing, there was these white feathered women, Massa and the other trapped queens. Now, if you go into Crescent City, there are people that are going around there, the archangels and stuff, they have white feathered wings. Could these women that Koshi has trapped at his island, could they be those same women, that same race of people? Do you know what I mean? But but maybe the onyx box that was in Elaine's vision, is it possible that that could be the key to defeating Koshi? There's something with it.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah. Or it holds a weapon of some sort, or
there's something.
Yeah.
Or it has other souls, or maybe I don't know, or maybe that's what's going to trap Koshi. There's some reason why he's trapped to where he's at. He can't leave this island that's on his lake. He's trapped. He's locked there. But why?
I thought the bone carver and Ryax, no,
Or was
the
it
witch,
Strega?
in the cabin. Yeah,
Strega. Mm-hmm.
those guys trapped him there. That's
Because
their
he was
brother.
stronger. Because he was stronger than the two of them. Because the bone
Or
carver.
because he wanted to do like evil or stuff in the world
Mm,
and like conquer and take over and
and so they trapped him there.
yeah.
And then but
Thought that's
then
why.
I don't know. We'll have to look because I don't remember. But I know they trapped the Weaver in that middle area. They trapped her there,
Right.
and the bone carver self-imprisoned himself at the prison because he was afraid of his brother and sister. So
Yeah.
there's something with the Onyx box. I'm excited to see if it does come out. So they're saying, the fans say that maybe the possibility between the glass box and the Onyx box, is it possible that this might be a multiverse soul prison?
Ooh,
Were
yeah.
there any boxes in Throne of Glass? Do you remember?
Oh goodness. That was a long
Again,
series.
like I said, I didn't read it, so I don't know, or I haven't yet.
Maybe.
I'll have to look and see if I can find anything.
Yeah. We'll have to like look that up. But no, every time I do things with you though, I'm always like, I need to reread these things.
You should do the audio books, and you can read
Yes.
them fast in that.
I think Throne of Glass is on sale right now too on Audible. So
Oh.
I have to grab that. I was trying to wait for the graphic audio, but then they pushed that back and it still isn't coming out. So
Well, maybe you should. Well, it's on sale right now, but they said that next month, which is March, Sarah is going on another podcast, and I can't remember if it was like Shadow Daddy or something is the name of the podcast. It's something with Daddy in the name.
okay.
So maybe she's going to
Gonna
announce some
drop
things.
information.
Well, we hope so. We haven't heard anything since what was that, May or June last year, and she was
Yeah.
popping champagne, and then it's been radio silence. We need some information, Sarah. We're all tired. We need some information. But also the other thing is, also with the boxes, they said, could it also be a Valg or an Asteri origin, like a soul imprisoning device? Like they
Hmm.
created it, because we know when Bryce goes to Prythian and she follows those visions of, I still think her name was Celine. I think that's what it was. I could be wrong, but it's whoever that was. And her descendant or whatever, her relative. And she follows her and she gives her those images and she sees all that stuff. A lot of things were created by the Asteri. Even though in Prythian they called them the Daglin. You know, the truth teller, the star sword, the horn, the mask, all that stuff was created by the Asteri. So would it be a giant leap to say that they didn't create these soul boxes?
Yeah.
It's interesting. There's so much. I mean, there's just so much. Now, the last thing we're going to hear is the Dust Court. As we know, that's the Prythian prison. We found out, if you read Crescent City, because I'm assuming any of you who are listening to us, you have, or again, remember, we're giving spoilers. The Prythian prison is the Dust Court. So it's hidden location. It links souls. It's dangerous magical beings, because we don't even know the tip of the iceberg of who is actually trapped in the prison, because there's stuff that predates the courts, before the 7 courts get separated.
Right.
Yeah. So who are these people? Because remember Lanthus, when what's her name there, Nesta fights him, he had been there for over 1,000 years or whatever. So who's in there? I have questions.
I do too. Yeah. I'd
now,
like to find out what else is hidden in there.
Oh yeah. Now the other part is they're saying, like, could the prison be a nexus that entitles the too powerful for mortal high fae worlds? So that's why they're putting them there. Could the other prisoners be Valg remnants, rogue Asteri experiments? Because remember, she went and hunted all these things all over Prythian and put them in there. So could they be that? Or magically amplified beings? Oh, it is Celine. That is her name. I do have it in my notes. Celine is the daughter of Thea, now if you remember your lineage, Thea was the High Lady of Prythian, and she was married to whatever his name was, because for some reason I think it began with an F. And then she had him killed, and then she ran off basically with his general, and they went to Midgard.
That's right.
And
Because
then
he was evil.
he betrayed her
Yeah.
and killed her. It was a whole lot of betrayals. When you read all
Yeah.
the series, you realize how many betrayals there are happening.
Yeah.
So, but they believe that this says here, Selene, the daughter of Thea, believed that to have created the Dust Court, possibly to contain the beings that disrupted the multiverse. Well, it wouldn't be the Dust Court. She created it as the prison because the Dust Court was her parents. That was their court. Because when you're reading or you're listening to her memories, she encased and closed off the throne rooms and everything because she talks about how beautiful it was, but she enclosed it all. So I'm excited for them to start digging in the prison. They need to start going looking in all those rooms and find this stuff. There could be all kinds of amazing things because they didn't know all those years that the Asteri was underneath the floor in there. They had no idea she was just in there sleeping in a glass coffin, kind of like was it Snow White? Wasn't she in it?
Kind of like that, yeah.
Same, except she was horrible and wanted to kill everybody as soon as she was free.
Not whimsy and talk to animals.
Now, that also they said this could be a connection to Jesiba. She may have studied or interacted with the prison using it for the underworld or this chthonic magic research because she can go everywhere. Do I think that she would have already found like another portal or another one of those why do I want to call it a weak spot? Yeah, the mist areas, where they are thin areas that she could have went to Prythian. I think it's very possible. Do I think she was trapped in Midgard? I don't think so because I think she knew a lot more because she had those books. But now could this also be a connection to Fury and the boxes? They said the Dust Court may mirror Onyx and Glass boxes functioning as Prythian's multiverse soul prison, again, as we said. But could this also cause cosmic implications? Could be the source or storage of shadow or light echoes influencing Azrael, Amren, or any of the starborn energies. I have my theories of Amren. I think Amren is like the angel of death is what I think she is.
Yeah.
I think she is from, I don't know if she's necessarily from Midgard because she's very similar to like the archangels,
Yeah.
But it makes me think, did she come from the worlds wherever the Asteri came from? Was she some type of being
I was thinking.
from them? Because they were the Daglin,
from their
remember?
world. Yeah.
Because remember, she does not remember things. She has
like when she came over.
Because we know she's older than 15,000 years old. Because that's when the Daglin got shipped off and all this stuff. And we know but she did say she fell through a rift, or from a rift. The rift happened with I don't know. Maybe she is part of from Midgard. I don't know. There's something. I'm hoping we find out more about Amren. Like I said, Sarah can do so many books on so many people because I have so
a lot
many
of characters and a lot of depth to everything. So
well, she said that
like I said, like she's like Easter egger, and then whether it was an intentional little blurb or not, she can twist that into so many things. So she's done a really good job at creating it, like that storyline for herself.
I mean,
in this world.
Now, because you have to admit, though, now, like with Amren, her and Fury have very similarities. The way they're described, how they look. What if Amren is Fury's mother and she had her with Thanos?
Maybe.
Because Amren doesn't remember anything.
Asteri.
It's very possible. Because she drank blood.
Because she's other.
We know she's something different. Now, the Asteri, of course, they were drinking First Light. But is that what they were drinking when they were in Prythian? Because, like, when she got out of the glass coffin, because that's one of those source points of whatever, she was starting to draw whatever up out of the ground. I don't know. Amren drinks blood. I mean, she doesn't now since she went through the cauldron.
So maybe she's like dragon?
There's something. There's something more there.
Maybe the girl at the fighting rink.
Yeah.
With the fire. Maybe they're related.
That's possible.
Amren and her.
That would be an interesting twist. I think there's a lot more interconnection. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
There's
there
a
will
lot
be,
more.
for
You know,
sure.
and then and that goes into like, like how we were talking about Azrael. Again, now is he a prince of hell? Because when Bryce was going through the portal, she said, "Take me to the prince of hell."
Yeah.
And when it opened, who appeared before her or there was Azrael.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Azrael
So it
wasn't,
could either be him or Rhys, right?
yeah,
Because she
because
was in front of the townhouse?
yes,
Something like that.
something like
Yeah.
that. She landed, and I think in the backyard she landed, because there was the river, and she landed
Yeah.
there, and they came. Of course, they would come outside. They seen this happen. I don't know. I mean, so there's like, again, there's so much, but
Yeah.
but you got to remember, Azrael has, he has those sentient shadows. They're different than Rhys's stuff. Rhys has shadow
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but it's not like what Azrael has. Because
Mm-hmm.
they said, could that be an echo of the underworld, the vault,
Mm-hmm.
or is it possible that he could be like a primordial death magic? Could it be something
Yeah.
with that?
Could be a death god,
Because we
like the
we
bone
don't know who his
carver.
father is.
Mm-hmm.
We know his mom. We have a very good idea. She's in Rose Hall. But who was his father? And he mentions he had brothers, and they were
Mm-hmm.
very cruel to him, and that's why they burnt him and
I
stuff.
thought he was a foster kid. I think he was adopted. He was like a foster kid. I don't think those were his real family.
I thought
I
that
don't
was
think that's his
Cassian.
family.
And we'll have to look that up. We'll have to look it up.
I mean, Cassian's mom died.
Yes,
He was
Cassian's
a
mom.
warrior.
She was an
warrior
Illyrian.
before, but she was in the mountains. And remember, like, she took them in, like, when they beat each other up, and like, he had a home. Cassian did.
Yeah, he
But
was
his
with
mom died after he became a warrior.
He was
and
a
was in the
bastard.
army.
He was a
Yes,
bastard.
right.
And so she never said who his father was, Cassian.
Right.
We know that. And
But
then
he had a family.
and then
He had his mom.
when his mom died, when Cassian's mom's died, he was like a little orphany kid. He got brought in. Rhysand's mother took him in.
Oh,
then,
yeah.
because Rhysand and Cassian had him, and then they brought Azrael in, because then he was out, like, out in the, so it was one or the other. One went with him first. They both ended up, Rhys's mother took them both in.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure with all of his, like, burns and stuff like that, I don't think that was his family.
I don't know. I have to look and see if I can find it. Who his
We'll
father
figure
is.
it out.
But it's interesting. Now, the other theory is it possible that Azrael could be a fallen, like from Midgard, the fallen angels there, or a lost shadow angel? That's what people are saying. Because now the shadows behave like they're entities all on their own, not typical Illyrian magic. Because Cassian doesn't have that. He's Illyrian. He doesn't have it. It's different. Even though he has wings and stuff, like he is Illyrian, his stuff isn't acting the same. Could he be a vessel for ACOTAR's death gods, imprints from the bone carver? These are people's theories. Because the bone carver, maybe he was with Azrael's mother. I think if we get to see her at Rose Hall, maybe we'll get more answers to that. But I swore it was that his dad was cruel to him, and he had brothers, and they burnt him. His dad burnt him because he was like a noble. He was like a noble. They called him like a nobility person. His father was. So I don't know, because they said like the male shadow aligned archetype, because Azrael's in ACOTAR, Hunt is in Crescent City, and then of course I haven't read Throne of Glass, so you'll have to tell me this. Fenris or Lorcan, did they have shadow stuff with them?
Yeah, they do. Lorcan does.
Okay, they said so maybe they're aligned somehow, and then the Princes of the Pit, they're putting those together. That's what people are saying. So not separate individuals, but they reflect the cosmic archetype. Now this is the future Harbinger theory. Could they or Azrael open rifts between worlds and instigate a multiverse war? Because now remember, now there were only 7 Asteri stuck in Midgard. I can't believe that those are the only Asteri that exist in the universe.
No, I think they
So
say that there are more, or there were more, right? And then they went to another world, like in their world, they had taken all the resources, right? So it was like
yes,
a dead world, and then they had to find like another world and things like that. I think they said that there were more, but
well, because in that room that Bryce went in to their library under the, was it the glass
mm-hmm,
or crystal city or whatever it was, um she went in there and it showed all these different planets, which one was Prythian. And
right.
they were mad about that because they wanted to go back to Prythian and destroy Prythian because they were mad that
They
the
were
Prythian,
booted.
they were defeated there. But like the
Mm-hmm.
other worlds, like the adults weren't giving them anything. They couldn't feed off of them, but the children, and they were, I think they were just basically killing them. Um, take because they were magical, but they weren't. It wasn't sustainable for them. So I don't know. Could there be more Asteri, and could they end up, coming back? Because
I
you know
think
what I'm
so.
saying? Because they
Yeah.
always said that the one he ate, one of the princes of hell, they called him the. Remember, they said he was the Star Eater
Mm-hmm.
because remember the one was missing, but then we found out that she was the one in the glass sarcophagus. So who was he, or was it a different one? Did he eat? Because
Girl, I
remember,
don't remember.
because it was because now I'm thinking about it, maybe he didn't, the prince of hell, he didn't eat her because she was in the glass sarcophagus in
Hmm.
Prythian.
Don't remember
There's
that.
because there were six
His,
of them,
yeah.
and remember they had the empty chair because they
Uh-huh.
said he ate her, but he didn't eat her. She was on that glass sarcophagus, and Bryce is the one that killed her.
I thought the one underneath the mountain was different,
Maybe it
like
was
a
a different
different
one.
person. Yeah, a
Maybe
different
it,
Asteri,
no, I
which
thought
is
she was
why
the
I was
one.
thinking there's got to be other ones because
I know
she
she
got
was
left
with them though.
behind
But
and
she
got
was with them though,
captured.
because there were seven Asteri. Because remember, seven is always the thing with Sarah. There
Mm-hmm.
were seven Asteri, and I think when Bryce battled them, there were six of them because there was the bright hand. Remember, that's the one that looked like a teenage boy. That's the one that was the strong one. There was all the different ones, and she killed them, or they killed them, I should say. I don't know. We'll have to look at that because I don't remember 100% now. Because now you
Yeah.
made me think differently. Because now I don't know. I don't know. So I
It's
don't
been a
know.
couple years since I read these, so
So again, like with the Starborn, like, see, there's so much. This is why this episode is, about the mess of the Maasverse because there is so many possibilities. Oh, I got the guy's name from the original High King of Prythian. His name was Finian, Fionn, Finion, and
yeah.
Thea. She was the High Lady. So they were the
Mm,
original Starborn rulers because that's where the
okay.
magic came from. And then, of course, the descendants of them is Helena. Helena's the one that stayed in Midgard. Selene's the
Right.
one that went back to Prythian. And then, of course,
Mm-hmm.
Bryce, Rune, and as we've now determined, Rhysand is part of it. So I don't know. I think it's all very interesting. I think every time we do this, it leaves me with more questions.
I know.
I
And a
ha-
reread.
it'll be I have to read Throne of Glass so I can get
Yeah.
even more theories. Because I'm going strictly everything that I'm telling you is that I know for whatever. That's just
Yeah.
Crescent City and ACOTAR.
Yeah. There's some connection. And I don't remember too much of Tog, but I know that there's more connection, especially with the shifters.
You need to get your audiobook since you said it's on sale on
Okay.
Audible, so you can listen to it, and then you can tell me
Yeah, I'll give you
what
clips.
theories and stuff like that. So now this is for all of our listeners out there. Comment to us your favorite theory, or the one of the ones that we were talking about. Let us know which one you think is the most wild, or if maybe you have something that's even more wild than what we're saying. So DM us at 2girls1tbr on Instagram, and then if it's something awesome, we'll talk about it on the next ACOTAR episode.
Yeah, that'll be fun. All
Uh,
right.
but that's all for the cosmic chaos we have time for today. But stay theorizing, stay reading, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, bye everyone. Keep your eyes on the stars and the shadows.
Good night, book babes.
Good night.